Board games! The fun games that you play together with your friends at parties and other occasions! No, I'm kidding, nobody plays board games anymore. Nowadays we have video games for that, like Mario Party, the ultimate Nintendo party game. This game was launched on a Nintendo 64 and sold over 2.7 million, which is actually surprisingly low. And the very first Mario Party actually had some scrapped content that never made it into the game, like minigames and certain special features. So let's start with taking a look at a couple of minigames that were removed. All or Nothing. The explanation screen appears to be an early version of Chance Time. Instead of various symbols to transfer stuff between players, however, according to the unused advice text, the blocks featured Mario and Bowser marks, and you had to get the Mario mark to win the game. This minigame was most likely removed because it depended too much on luck, although it can be accessed via the debug menu and random play. As can be expected, you are taken to the final version of Chance Time after leaving the screen. Although, due to the unusual means of access and the fact that the data processes it as a one-player minigame, when at least 2 characters will be featured on screen, it freezes in place after the blocks are hit. I can totally understand why they scrapped this one, since a game based on pure luck doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Still, Chance Time is also based on pure luck, but it's a random event, and there are loads of those in the game that have a random effect on the players, so that's not strange.
Tour de Mario. This appears to have been a cycling minigame, based on the real-life cycling competition, the Tour de France. The preview icon, strangely, is a black image with the text "now printing" on it, which is strange and we don't really know why it says that. But it is likely that it was a stock image for minigames that were in development. There is also large Japanese text overlaid across the explanation screen that says "under construction." It probably wasn't finished in time. Bungee jump. In the ROM, one can find the string bungee jump for a minigame. However, the explanation screen of this minigame cannot be triggered and the game freezes before it appears. It was most likely cut in the early stages of the development, since there is literally nothing left about this minigame. Same game. This minigame is actually fully functional and can be played through the use of GameShark code. It is a one-player game which works just like the actual video game that it was based on, also called Same Game. The tiles are underneath your character and you ground pound to remove sections. If you manage to clear all of the tiles, you can grab the treasure chest underneath. Otherwise, you must go through one of the doors, which nets you a single coin. An explanation screen doesn't exist for this minigame, but a preview icon was created for it. It's weird that they didn't use this, it's just Same Game but in minigame format and with Mario in it. There were no problems with the minigame at all and it actually looks quite good. The only thing that's missing is the explanation screen. Such a shame. Yoshi's Tong Meeting. This minigame is partly functional but obviously still incomplete. Characters sit atop a Yoshi on the left side, unless you are Yoshi, in which case you're just standing in the same spot without a rider, and everybody has a baby Wiggler on their tongues. The tongue extends to the Wiggler's mother, and you have to unite them by pressing A at the right moment. Press A too soon and they won't reunite, press A too late and the baby will kick its mom into the bushes. The music and sounds are all broken in this minigame, and there is debug text which shows whether or not you succeeded. Just like with Same Game, there is no explanation screen available for this minigame as well. Yet another minigame that worked for the most part but had some minor problems, which is why they didn't include it in the final game. They could have easily fixed those mistakes and there doesn't even seem to be a problem with the concept. Actually, it looked like an amazing addition to the game. But there might actually be a reason for all this, and maybe the 64 disk drive will provide us with answers.
The 64DD was an extension for the N64. Plugging it into the extension port on the underside of the console allows the Nintendo 64 the following. Using proprietary 64MB magnetic discs for expanded and rewritable data storage, a real-time clock for persistent game world design, and a standard font and audio library for further storage efficiency. Furthermore, the 64DD's software titles and hardware accessories let the users create movies, characters and animations to be used within various games and shared online. So this was some sort of upgrade for the console, and it actually functioned with Mario Party. While the US version displays a black screen when there's a 64DD attached to the system, the Japanese and European Australian versions actually recognize the 64DD and check for the disc. So maybe they wanted to add more functions, maps and minigames, but in the end it didn't work out. The 64DD didn't sell very well, so that might be the reason, but this is only speculation. There are no hints at all that they were planning for the game to be bigger than it already was. The only real hint is the fact that it functions with 64DD. So yeah, maybe they were experimenting a bit with it, but it was probably cancelled later on after the poor sales numbers of the 64DD. So there's actually more to this fun party game than you might think. There were actually some very interesting features that just didn't make it. Oh well, it's still a great game. Also, big thanks from me and Thiefbug for all of you lovelies watching our videos and supporting us, cause we put time into this, so it's good to see enthusiastic people reacting in the comments. Yay!